Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Myra from Low Carb Love, and today we are in a local store where I'm going to show you some of my favorite zero carb foods. Now, most of you know that I've lost over 100 pounds. I've been maintaining my weight for over 15 years, and I'm just going to share some of the things that have helped me throughout my journey. So we're going to walk along, I'm going to kind of point things out, and hopefully it's going to be helpful for you on your journey. Okay, now for snacks, some of the things that I always have on hand are beef jerky. One, because leading with protein for me has been super helpful. It helps me, just keeps me feeling full and satiated. Just always make sure you look at the ingredients, or at least make sure you look at the sugar content, because like this is all in the same section, and this little guy right here that looks very similar to this guy has some sugar in it. Beef jerky is amazing, hard-boiled eggs. Now nuts, which we're right here, right by the nut section. So nuts are low in carb, but they are not zero carb. The only nut that I can tell you is super high in healthy fats and almost zero carb are macadamia nuts. So roasted macadamia nuts are about 1 net carb per serving. So super cool. I did not plan on showing these, but I just like picked up the seaweed and I was like, hey, these are zero carb too. So I love seaweed. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that I love seaweed as a snack. I carry it in my purse and I didn't even know it was zero carb. So this is a great snack that you can just take on the go. All right guys, so the chip aisle has always been my favorite aisle at the grocery store. I am definitely like a chip lover. Now, unfortunately, if you are trying to do zero carb, you can only choose something from this little section right here, which are pork rinds. These little guys here are zero carbs. They are perfect to snack on. They're crunchy. You can use them as dipping and honestly, like just for movie night. So if you want to do chips, this is your option right here. Okay, so moving on to drinks. Now, of course, you can always do like a zero sugar soda. No, they are not clean, but they are an option. So instead of doing something that is super high in sugar, then you can do a zero sugar. So my favorite is Coke Zero. Literally obsessed with it. I know, super bad habit, but I will show you what I have every single day instead of soda. And this, I try to do it just once in a while. Teas, for those of you that are tea lovers, once in a while, I like to have a little tea too. So I found these that are peach mango. Now this one here, I tried it a while back and it's the Shaka brand. This is sweetened with monk fruit and it's really good. This is pineapple mint. I think they actually sent me some to the house just to try out. Mango hibiscus, and they're sweet. So, you know, if you just like unsweetened, then they do have options for that. But of course, like diet, you know, Coke Zero or Diet Sprite or any of that, it's not clean, but it's still zero carbs. So, you know, at this point, it's just personal preference. Like, are you trying to be clean or do you not care and be like, I don't care, I'm having it and it's zero carbs, so we're good. You know, it's just totally up to you. Okay, so this is my healthy girl option. I try not to drink a lot of soda for obvious reasons. So typically I just drink a regular like lemon lime. But now they have like mango, grapefruit, you can get coconut, pineapple, cherry blossom. Like you can literally get any flavor at this point and it's not sweetened. Some of them you just have to check. They do have like natural flavors. And if you're someone that doesn't want that, there are brands that don't include that. Like this one here, the Spindrift, does not have natural flavors. So I know some of you, if you are really into ingredients and that's maybe like the route you want to go. But other than that, anything here is zero carbs. My personal favorite. When I tell you that I have tried every sparkling water out there, I mean it. This one's my favorite. Probably one of the least expensive here. It's just the Kroger brand. So of course you'd have to shop at a Kroger or a store that carries Kroger, but the lemon lime is like a bae. Seriously, I love it. So anyway, this is a great alternative to soda. If you're someone that likes that gas, like that bubbly feeling, because that's what I love about soda, you can definitely get it with sparkling water and, you know, just kind of make that switch little by little until you're like me, where I drink this pretty much daily and then I'll have a soda here once in a while, or like when I go out to eat or something. If you consume dairy, then I'm going to show you the top, like most popular dairy items that are also zero carb. So butter is definitely one of the things that most of us have at home, and it just so happens to be zero carb. So this is organic, but of course, if you have access to grass-fed, then you'd want to go that route. All right, so cheese is another dairy product that for the most part is zero carb. So this is a Mexican blend cheese, and I just want to show you what I'm talking about. So as you can see, this is not just cheese. They also add potato starch, tapioca starch, dextrose. So there are other ingredients that are added into the cheese, which does add carbs to it. So typically it would be zero carbs, but because it does have those additives, it's not. But anyway, just check labels and make sure that, yeah, your stuff is zero carb. Now, you guys know that I am obsessed with coffee. So I looked at all of these to see which was zero carbs. So this one turns out to be like 0.5 carbs, and it's a creamer, zero sugar. So just options out there, not clean, but at least you know that there is something out there for you to have. Okay, and now milk is a big deal. Even though this is not dairy, it is obviously an unsweetened almond milk. This has about 0.5 carbs per serving, which is what, 8 ounces. So guys, like even if you add it to your coffee or whatever, it's, in my personal opinion, it falls under zero carb. But it really just depends on how you want to measure. It does obviously have traces of carbs, but pretty much everything does. So I think it's just a good option to basically almost zero carbs. If you are looking for dairy and you're like, I want zero carbs, then you're gonna have to go here, heavy cream. Heavy cream is pretty much all fat, so that's the reason why it doesn't have carbs. So zero carbs for heavy cream, also whipping cream, and half and half has one. So there's half and half or heavy cream for pretty much zero carb milks. Okay, so let's talk meats. Now, of course we know that chicken, beef, lamb, salmon, all of that is a go. Those are all zero carb meats. Now, some of us might think that deli meats are all a go, and the truth is that they are not. Some of them contain a lot of sugar. So let's head over so that we can take a look at what I'm talking about. Here we have all of the deli meats. So even though some might be zero carb, like this little guy here that has zero sugars. Now let's take a honey ham, for instance. You're thinking ham, it's deli, like deli meats, all a go. This one actually contains sugar. It has 2 grams of sugar per serving and 2 carbs. So if you end up having like a few slices, it will add up, and then you can end up having like 10 carbs of deli meats. We don't want to do that, especially when there are options that have zero carbs. Remember, this is why I tell you, read labels. This is actually Black Forest ham, but when you read the back, you will see that it does contain zero carbs. At the end of the day, things can add up quickly. If you have like a deli meat that has 2 carbs, and then you have pre-shredded cheese that contains like potato starch and tapioca starch and all of that, then all of a sudden you might be thinking, well, I'm just having cheese and deli meats, it's zero carbs. But in reality, you might be having 8, 10, 12. So again, meats are a go. Chicken, beef, steak, salmon, lamb, shrimp, all of those are usually all zero carbs as long as you're getting them from the meat department. Okay, so typically parameter of the store usually contains all the natural foods. I don't know if you know this or not, but all the aisles in between contain all the processed junk. Now, don't get me wrong, there are certain things in the aisles that you can find that are zero carb, but just know they are gonna be processed and they are gonna contain other ingredients that are not super clean. So that's all personal preference. I'm just here to share with you the zero carb foods that you can find in a grocery store. Oils. Now, oils are a tricky place. I grew up eating canola oil, vegetable oil, like that is what I always saw at home. It wasn't until maybe a few years ago that I realized how unhealthy and inflammatory oils are. They wreak havoc on your gut. Just something that if there's like anything from this entire video that you take away, it is making a switch on the oils that you use. Now, the 3 oils that I use are 1, avocado oil. Avocado oil has a high smoking point. It's great for frying, cooking anything at a really, really high temperature. Now, another one is coconut oil. So we have coconut oil here. I usually don't cook with coconut oil, but if I'm making like any type of chocolate, dessert, then I will use it, but not for cooking, sauteing, frying, anything like that. I'm usually using avocado or olive, but coconut oil is a good option. Now, ghee is also really, really good for those of you that don't want butter, but you still want that taste. It's just like clarified butter, so it takes out all the fat. For those of you that don't know what ghee is, that's basically what it is. It's butter that is cooked down until all of the fat solids are out. And lastly, Olive oil. So olive oil is obviously great. You guys know it. I even put this on my body, but olive oil is great for cooking and also like finishing. So as a finishing oil on salads or charcuterie boards or anything like that, it's typically what you have. It's like a extra virgin olive oil. Now, extra virgin olive oil is not what I cook with. That again is a finishing oil, but just regular olive oil is great for cooking. Now for condiments. So this is a really big thing because this is what adds all the flavor to our foods. So one of the things is mayo. So mayo, I grew up eating mayo. It's usually like my creamy component that I add to a lot of my wraps, sandwiches, like a lot of my food that I want like the creaminess to it. It's usually mayo. I grew up eating Best Foods. Unfortunately, it has canola oil, which I get kind of sensitive to it. It like messes up my stomach. So now I've switched over to an avocado mayo. So avocado mayo is definitely, you know, just high quality oils. It's not gonna mess up your stomach. All of that is 0 carbs. Hot sauce adds a lot of, you know, flavor and spice to your food. And it also has, this does have 0 carbs for sure, because you're literally cayenne pepper, vinegar, salt, you know, red hot, tapatio, Cholula, all of that is 0 net carbs. So you can't have tapatio, it is 0 carbs. Guys, at this point, like, with the 0 carbs, I mean, if you have a sauce that has 1 carb, you know, it's not gonna make you or break you. But if you're trying to stick to a 0 carb, you know, diet for a week or for whatever the case, then at least you know what you can and can't have, because there's a lot of hidden sugars. Hidden sugars are in everything. There's a lot of products that contain carbs that you might not ever think would have carbs. So you always have to read labels. Now, another thing that I add to a lot of my foods is mustard. I love using mustard in wraps. Anything that I usually use mayo in, like wraps, sandwiches, even for dipping, I love using mustard. And fortunately, it is 0 carbs. So 0 carbs, 0 calories. Mustard is definitely a go as a condiment. Now, another thing that I personally love, and we're pretty much gonna end here because we are done with the whole store, are pickles. So pickles is something that you can have freely. I usually do pickles for dipping with sauces, 0 carbs. And I feel like it's just a great crunchy snack that you can utilize in kind of like your everyday. But I'm just a pickle lover, so if you're not, then obviously we can find something else. But if you are, then that is definitely a good option. So that is, you know, obviously one of my go-tos, but another thing are olives. So olives are a good choice. I love to do olives, like a little snacky plate with olives and almonds and deli meats and just kind of like snack on that. But guys, olives and pickles are definitely a go under the 0 carb foods. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I hope that a lot of these foods and tips were helpful. Comment down below. Let me know if you guys want to see a video with all the foods under 5 net carbs, where of course there's like so much more variety. It was actually pretty tough to find all the foods that were 0 carb, but we made it happen. So I hope that was helpful. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more videos just like this. Guys, thanks so much for being here. I love you, and I'll see you on my next video. Mwah.